Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro and the November 21 edition of Mail and Donations. In today's edition there isn't that many items actually. There's a couple of interesting things, lots of small China packages and a bench power supply. Here's a little package. This is something I bought on the fin.no again, and I'm always looking out for stuff to buy as long as it's cheap. It's not this kind of... So let's take a look at what it actually is. Yeah, that's a bunch of screws, and those are screws for PC related hardware. They fit like hard drives and motherboards, ATX motherboards, and here's a bunch of different things, jumpers, yeah, more screws, stand-off screws, regular ATX size or AT size screws, and yeah, standoffs for using on motherboards and things like that. So this is always nice to have. Another one of those China packages. So let's see. Aha, yeah, these are adapters for for going from 25 pins, I think, to DB9. If you want to connect some serial cable or anything like that from a computer to another. Yes, nice to have. Another China package, it says plastic sheet. I can't remember ordering some plastic sheet, but yeah, maybe they categorize it the wrong way. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is not the plastic sheet. This is chips, and if I remember correctly, I think these are 6502 chips. Yeah, or 65CO2 P4 Mexico. So these can be used in several types of machines. They all look to be the same brand, so I'm not gonna open anything more, but yeah. Here you see the label, so now it will be interesting to see if this actually works or not. So, and if they are perhaps fakes. I'm not gonna test them now because I don't have a machine out in the air right now to be able to test with. But this goes into my spare parts collection. Another little package, and yeah, this seems to be coming from the Netherlands, from Teespring. Alright, so I know what this is. It says Premium T Black XL, so yeah, let's open it up. There it is, a t-shirt, and it is a special t-shirt. It is in fact the Masterom t-shirt my fellow YouTuber Mindflare Retro sells on his channel or on his shop. So yeah, and he recently had a video about this Masterom for the Commodore 64. You should watch it. I'll link to it in the description. So yeah, I just bought this. I thought it looked cool. I'll probably use it in some of my next videos. Next package, something I bought on the Norwegian Retro Computers Facebook group. I think, I'm not really sure, sometimes I find something on the Facebook group. Alright, so these are actually Atari cartridges for the 2600 game program, Bowling, Codebreaker and Breakout. So I kind of collect some of these. I don't know if these are original Atari cartridges. Anyway, I didn't pay much for these, so nice to have in my collection. And here's another package from the same seller. However, why it was sent in two packages, I don't know. So I got this vase, or what is it? It's sent from the same guy, Remy. Yeah, I bought things from him before. I was not expecting Tromsø vase or vase, or what is it, a cup? Tromsø is one of the northernmost cities in Norway. It's about 3 hours driving from here, from Bodø, up north. And it's actually called the Paris of the Nordics. And this is the cathedral. It's called the Ishavs Cathedral. It's the Ocean Cathedral. Yeah, it's a nice vase, or what it is, I don't know. Alright, so here's a little bigger package, and yeah, it's from DigiKey, and that is the truth. It is actually something I ordered from DigiKey, and yes. So I think I'll set it down on the floor. The main item here is in fact something I have wanted for a long time, but I haven't really found the money to buy it yet. But with the Patreon money, I actually am able to purchase some gear for my channel. So that's it. It's a Korad digital control DC power supply, and it's in fact a lab power supply. It's not the most expensive or the one with the most features, but I think it has what I actually need. And since I already ordered something from DigiKey, I of course stacked up on some other stuff, like yeah, these are in fact just sockets and a couple of voltage regulators, and of course a lot of capacitors. And these are the capacitors that I use most of the time. I don't have any use for them right now, but like these 47 microfarads, 25 volts, you often have a need for those, and these are 2200 microfarad, and these are the ones that are used in the Commodore 64, so I use a lot of those. Alright, let's take a look at the power supply. It is a Korad KA3005D, and it is a 30 volts, 5 amps DC variable power supply. And actually I have seen the exact same power supply with other names, so I think this is just a generic type that different sellers sell under different brands. Besides the power supply itself in the box, there's this electrical performance test report. So seems to be signed off by some inspector with some Chinese letters. There's a simple user manual and the power and yeah, banana plugs. So it seems I might have done a mistake here. I actually got the American power cord with American plug and it is actually set to 110 volts, but luckily this can be changed. So now it says 230, but that's not an issue. I got lots of these IEC cables. Alright, so I want to do a quick test of this first. Before I find a suitable place on my bench, I might rearrange the whole thing here. Yeah, tight fit, that's good. And let me use my cheap Aneng multimeter to measure the output of this. Alright, turning on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's now set to 30 volts at 5.1 amps. So I'm gonna test and see what we get. So now I'm just adjusting the voltage, let's say 10 volts at maximum 2 amps. And then on. So now it's on and should show 10 volts. Yeah, that's dead on. Nice. And it has some programmable memory here, so I don't know how to set that. I just press M1, so that seems to have done the trick. Let's adjust now down to what we usually use here in this lab. It's a 5 volts DC. Let's set that on memory 2. No, you have to change the memory first, then adjust. I guess this is without reading the manual. Let's set 2 amps max and then M2. Well, yeah. So now I can change from M1 to M2. Well, not really sure. Okay, let's test 5 volts. Yeah, 4.997. There is a fan, I can hear it, but it is not very loud. It's very silent. Hopefully this will last. It's quite heavy. I struggle to lift it with one hand, so yeah. Will be nice to have a power supply here in the lab. We're on the last lap here, and I got these small packages, China packages as I call them. This one is labeled Arduino cable, but it actually is not. It is a serial cable that can be used to connect an old machine with a serial interface to a modern one with the USB. So I actually have a need for this, that's why I ordered it. So now I got it. This one says RTV 905 Silicone. It's also from China. Seems like they are using the same type of plastic, all these sellers. Cheapest type. Yeah, and this is actually some silicone adhesive that can be used for gluing heat sinks to chips. Can't really read anything, but yeah, that's what it is. Here's the last package from China, and it says RS232 Null-modem cable DB9. which along with the other cable can be used to transfer data between computers over serial connection. And the Null-modem cable is the one that are crossed, so one end receives and other sends. Final package comes from Norway, and this is something I bought here locally. Yeah, and that's actually these HDMI cables that you can use internally, for example on an Amiga 500 if you want to install a RGB to HDMI adapter. Then you need these kinds of cables, flat flex cables with HDMI input and output, just to feed the cable from inside of the machine to the outside. Let's take a look at one of those. So it has this smaller HDMI, I don't know if it's called mini or micro, and the other end is just a regular large HDMI connector. Here's a package sent from Slovakia, Marcel from Slovakia. And it says here 1 times 25260902 keyboard SSM, and that's integrated circuit, a chip. Packaging isn't very nice when it is a chip, but yeah, okay, it's in a plastic container, so that's something at least. And it came with documents. I'm not sure what they are for. Postfullmakt, that's yeah, something to do with the post. I'm not showing the address here, so I can't read Slovakian, so probably some return form or something like that. And this is in fact a chip for the Commodore CDTV. If you watch my CDTV videos, you saw that one of the machines are not working, and I suspect this chip isn't working, so I just found this quite cheap and bought it, so hopefully it will help. Alright, that was it for this month's items. Hope you enjoyed the content, and hope to see you again soon. And as always, a thank you to my patrons over at patreon.com. Thanks, bye bye.